Monday night.
What is going on? It is Sketchy Live Podcast, Monday, 9:30. You made it. It's Labor Day.
It is.
How about that? Hopefully you had some labor. I bet you there's some moms that had some new labor. Hey, we're going to talk about a bunch of cool stuff tonight. We're trying to do something different because, tomorrow, well, we got a lot to do in a short period of time. We got a long way to go.
And a short time to get there.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to do, but tonight we're going to talk about quite a few things here on the podcast. So no drawing tonight, but we're going to talk about some cool stuff, and we want you to interact right on, right on.
And we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Hey, it's Monday Night Sketchy Live, the podcast. I am Johnny Jalopy, hot rod artist, designer, now fabricator.
What?
Can I add that? I can?
You can.
I just did. And of course, it's next to me, as always, the wonderful, the lovely, the beautiful, hair smoking tonight.
Oh, really?
Hot.
Oh.
ItyB, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Welcome to Monday night. Like Johnny said, we're doing something a little different today. We are going to be doing one of our podcasts rather than doing a sketch tonight.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. We were thinking, actually, it was over dinner. We were just the topic of a bunch of topics kind of came up for discussion. I was like, you know what? Hold that thought. Let's talk about it on Monday.
Hold the phone.
Because realistically, as far as trying to come up with a drawing, and today was a short day. We're not even sure how many folks were going to show up today, but 26 of you already.
Yay.
Thank you. We weren't sure, and you did this to all of them, right? Live.
Yeah.
Okay, just
we're
making
live
sure
on all.
because I know one of them we did
All
one of the times. So tonight we're doing podcast forum. We're going to talk about a few subjects. We're going to roll into that, but before we get into that, I'd like to ask ItyB. How do you think the project's going?
I think you're doing a great job.
I wasn't like queuing it up so you could tell. Hey, tell me about me.
We didn't pre-discuss this. So yeah. So to be honest, I feel like you're making some huge progress. I have not been out there nearly enough to help you. I come out and check on you. I'm basically just checking to make sure you're alive out there because it's been super hot. But every time I come out, except for maybe one time last week or the week before, you were pretty upset with yourself. But otherwise
that was a bad session.
Every time I go out there, you are like, hey, take a look at this or check this out.
Yeah, we've made some good progress.
You're really moving along with it. Like it's really taken shape. Like I feel like you've gone fast.
Yeah, I don't even have a project to really kind of reference off of. I mean, other than the times going out with Ian and stuff like that.
Right.
But it seems that's 4 or 5 days. So then I'm gone, So I mean, it feels like we're making some pretty good progress and stuff. But hey, before we get all into that, how about you tell us 27 of those people? Let's see who's here, and then we'll get into the project. And then we've got some great topics tonight. I can't wait to talk about them because they're good and they're kind of there's some pros
edgy.
Cons.
They're edgy.
You take a side or a not side. We're trying to definitely keep it.
It's kind of edgy.
Is it edgy?
Let me tell you who we've got on tonight.
It's all about murder.
If you are joining us, let us know you're here and let us know where you're tuning in from so we can see geographically.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop on the comics up. Here's the cool part about this part. I have my computer and I can see what's going on too. So now I can kind of help read who's here. So pop it out.
Alrighty, so we've got Lizzie Daughtry joining us. Welcome, Lizzie. She said hello, you too. Welcome back. Yeah, we did take off last week.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, well that was.
Sorry, boot that.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. Storms came in, and holy cow, my back was killing me after that day.
We've got Frank Pupello joining us. It's time for Ta-Da Sketchy Live.
Ta-da! Sketchy Live.
Howard Pierpont, 85 in Clear, Mineola, Texas tonight. Howard, wonderful.
Super supporter.
Yes.
We should give him a super supporter. I'm going to show that one because Howard Pierpont, super supporter. Thanks so much, man.
He is. Lizzie Daughtry is giving us our youtube.com, Ms. Butterfree 34. She does a live every Wednesday night at 8:30. So go check that out. Live auction over on her page.
We got Matt Williams in the house. We got Jim Pollen from Hobo's Hot Rod Garage. Go ahead. I'm just helping.
Matt Williams said, good evening from Idaho. Received my sticker pack. Thank you. Yes, he was the winner of the sticker pack.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Our last Sketchy Live a couple weeks ago. Jim Pollen, of course. Good evening from Hobo's Hot Rod Garage. Horseheads, New York, custom bead rolling. And like I said, so on the back of that bed, or I'm sorry, on the back of the tailgate, you cut out the Chevrolet.
I did. I want to save that, and that's going to become a wall hanger for sure. I'm going to frame it up, and I'm going to and
there's going to be some room for
there's some
else.
Trying to decide what I want to do with that. Jim Pollen actually got a hold of me and was like, hey man, if you need something, let me know.
Oh, sweet.
So that was cool. It's just a matter of I've got a couple ideas of things I want to go. Do I want to put a name and badge on the back? Do I want to keep it open so it'll continue to help with the cooling? Can I do both? Maybe, I don't know. I've got kind of an idea of a both or two.
We're still deciding.
So we'll see what happens, but I sure appreciate
that's going to be one of the design elements a little later in the build.
Definitely.
James Olchin joining us. Hello from Lincoln, Nebraska. Welcome. Scott Strickland from Denellen, right up here north of us. Hopefully you fared well during the storm as well, Scott, because I know
Great to see you on.
Hit up there. Dana Baldwin joining us.
What's up,
welcome.
Dana?
Randy Keats, can't wait to see you guys next weekend in Frankenmuth. Yes.
Randy, we will see you there, buddy.
And I said to Johnny, I'm like, I don't know if we need to bring it up again. We've been talking about it nonstop. But yes, we are going to Frankenmuth this week. Yes. I am so excited to see
That's the reason we're also doing a podcast tonight, because we got lots to talk about in a short period of time, and we were worried that we wouldn't be able to get a drawing done. And I had work has been crazy since the hurricane came in. It's been nuts, and we're super low staffed now, and I've got like a small staff of people that work at my store now, so it's a lot of Johnny's running around
day job stuff,
chicken with his head cut off, not much time for creating. So
Lizzie's actually tuning in on both our
we'll take it,
our platforms here, Facebook and YouTube. Jim McMillan's joining us. Hey guys, happy Labor Day. Same to you, sir. Rod Pfeiffer is joining us, checking in from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, one of my favorite places on TV.
Paul Marziani checking in, says hello, gotta go. Just want to say hello.
Welcome, sir.
We're glad you stopped by.
Dana from Casa Grande, Arizona, the big house. I love Casa Grande. Yeah. Hi guys, Ray and Diane are watching. Diane,
nice.
Kinnery, I believe is the last name.
Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
Am I right? It sounds familiar.
Yep.
Gavin Little, hello guys. I'm out in the shop working on a wood project and listening to you guys at the same time.
Gavin,
appreciate you, Gavin.
Rod LaQuire, touching that wood.
Love show Rod in Woodstock, Georgia, just north of Atlanta.
Nice.
Welcome, Matt and Stacy Steen. Hi, Johnny and I. Oh, maybe Itty. Gavin is tuning in from Washington State.
Yeah.
Shaggy LeBlanc is joining us. We will see
Mr.
Shaggy
LeBlanc
in a mere couple days. Shaggy, I hope you and the crew are ready for us because we are coming in guns blazing.
Shaggy LeBlanc, one of the old names I used to just love. Just Shaggy LeBlanc. Shaggy LeBlanc.
Do it with the accent. Like I expected him to have a French accent.
It's really. I know when we saw him, we're like, he doesn't look French at all,
and he's not talking French at all.
Shaggy LeBlanc.
Kevin Malone, Auburn, New York. Truck's looking good. He said, I think a lot of people are following the build. So
yeah.
We've got Mama Wood in the house.
Hello, me mom. I don't know why I always have to say it.
I don't know. Jake Cruz. He said, if you get some time on Sunday after Frankenmuth Auto Fest, you guys should come over to Barnum's Bug Barn for all the Volkswagen show.
What?
In Vassar, Michigan. Show starts at 10 a.m. It's probably 20 minutes away from Frankenmuth. We will have our own vehicle.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe able to do that. We are kind of rolling with a crew.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to let the crew down.
We don't want to abandon the crew.
Nope. Yeah. We got a crew.
James Alton said, sad day in Lincoln right now. Our Pershing Auditorium, where they used to have Autorama, is being torn down. Oh, it's always so sad when monumental buildings don't get rehabbed and they wind up starting over. Matt and Stacy Steen. Hi, Johnny and ItyB. Matt from God and Gears in Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Very cool.
Hey, so good to see you on. Yeah, if you definitely go check out God and Gears, super cool.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, reads a part of some scripture and shares on it. It's
so cool,
so cool. Keep doing it, man. So great.
Very cool. Mark Minslav, hey, from California. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. Bud Brand from Orchid, your stomping grounds, your old stomping grounds.
Hello, Orchid friend.
Robert Spears said, hi, everybody. Ahsoka is good. What do you think? What's this?
What's Ahsoka?
What's Ahsoka?
Super Ahsoka. I don't know.
Oh, spray gun?
I don't know.
Diane said, yes, it's Kinnery from Joliet. Oh,
nice.
Illinois. Michael Allen's joining us. Howdy, guys. Mike Quilliams. Hello from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I always have to say the Quilliams.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that.
No, I have to, because we have a Mike Williams.
Yeah.
And if I say it too fast, it could be Mike Quilliams. Dennis Gibbish. Gibb in the house. We will see you in a couple days as well. Pinstriper extraordinaire. This guy's been in the business for years.
Super striper.
So many stories.
Super strapper. Letterer, all that.
All of it.
Does it all.
Scott Strickland said we fared well. Thanks. Not even the power flickered. I know we were blessed as well.
Yeah.
Howard Pierpont said maybe my Florida reservations for October. So he is still coming down. I'm super excited. We're going to have Howard on the broadcast.
We will be ready for the pod.
Yep. Todd Romeo. I look forward to seeing you guys again. See you at Frankenmuth. Got a great show by the Radicals CC in Brighton on September 16th.
Nice.
Wiley Vincent is joining us. Hello, you two from YouTube. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for seeing us over there. YouTube.
And Kevin Malone said Ahsoka is the new Star Wars show on Disney.
Oh, yeah. Lost my Disney Plus.
I'm out of it. Yeah, we don't have Disney. Star Wars, I guess your Disney Plus is out again. Robert Spears said, yeah. Okay, so that is everyone so far.
Roger that. Okay, let's get into it. So, yeah, back to the build progress. So, yeah, we got the bed on. Got the tailgate mounted. Got parts on order coming in for the... so the bed will work. We did cut out the Chevy logo. So deciding on that.
We're probably weeks away from ordering the window kits.
Yep. So jumped back to finishing up to completely enclose the cab. It's been a portion of the build that's been really weighing on my mind. Like, how do I make the back of the cab up top, finish that off? I had ideas of what I wanted to do, but I know I had to cap it first. And as I showed on Facebook, did some pie cuts on some already existing material, bent that over some metal. So did some metal shaping. It wouldn't fit my brake because I only have like an 18-inch brake. But so I wish I had a little bit long, like a 30-inch I would have been able to just pop that piece of metal in there, beep, 45'd it. So I had to pie cut it to get it to bend and do the arc as well. My first time, other than the back of the cab, trying to do pie cuts.
And those were very elementary. This one was like, this was a crucial point.
Strategic for sure.
Yeah. And when I saw it, I mean, it probably needs a little bit of tweaking on the one side, you said, but otherwise, he got the curvature right on. Like it's going to work so well. And you still have to build the little,
yes. So the cool element, almost the little air dam I want to make for the back. I came up with the idea of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take some round bar now that I have the shape. I'm going to take round bar and weld that to hold the shape so that I can then lay, and then I'm going to create the shaping of the back wing kind of thing, if you spoiler, whatever you want to call it. And then sheet metal over that, sheet metal over the side. But by putting a piece of round bar on the back of the cab, that'll lay another spot for me to lay sheet metal down. So it'll look like one solid piece coming off the back.
Once you sand it or grind it down.
Yeah. So it's going to be cool. But it worked that all out in my head today at my lunch break. So that was a cool one. So yeah, the project's going good. So
super excited about it.
A lot of fun with it. It's been great. But so let's get into our topics.
Yes.
These are some stuff that I started thinking about. So I started going back and really kind of ItyB and I were going back and forth. And we were talking about, I was like, what is it, about the culture that you want to know more about? Or where do you feel like there's some things you don't know about, do know about? And you were like, man, it's so cool. Every time I watch those guys in Michigan.
In Michigan, that's been my exposure.
Yes,
I mean, you have a lot more exposure.
You met people and you now
I'm following them.
You've got more people that you're following that are in car clubs and different stuff.
Right.
And going to different events all over the place in their area. And you saw that and you were like, hey, I really think that's cool because we know that's not the scene that we have here.
It isn't.
Not that there's not an automotive scene in Florida, but it's so different. And here's where the controversy continues.
But no, my biggest takeaway from all of that wasn't the fact that they were all going, because it takes effort from each individual person to show up at these things. They've all decided they're going to do that. It's the camaraderie after the shows, before the shows, on the way to the show. They are a genuine group of friends hanging out, doing car stuff.
Well, and again,
whether it's a club or not.
Sure. And a great case in point is, Uncle Larry's truck got damaged.
Right.
And then next thing you know, he's working on it, and then it's over at Shaggy's, and Shag's helping him fix it and doing some stuff to it and customizing and doing some stuff because Uncle Larry's working, and it's just cool that there's somebody got his back, right? And then we saw
Scott with his whole project thing. In fact, they're on tonight.
And then,
hey, Scott.
Yeah, what's going on, man? It's looking so. I love your car.
Yeah,
it's.
He said me and Shaggy checking in while squirting the Dodge. I guess that's the new way to say.
What I love so much about that car is the Dodge itself it's not a normal car that is grabbed onto and customized in the way that it's being customized. Mm-hmm. So high fives to that part.
They're supposed to have it ready for the show. I'm excited.
And again, there's the fun part of and I don't think they necessarily are. I don't know if they're a club or not a club.
For the
right?
Club, yeah.
Maybe there is. Maybe some of them are in. I don't know. But what we see, the part that we've latched onto is there's this automotive group of dudes that have got each other's backs. It feels like, and helping each other out. And it's the part where you were saying, man, I wish we had that kind of thing going on here.
Right.
And I was like, well, we do, but we don't at times. And I mean, I've noticed that since I moved from California and to here to Florida, even when I brought my Jeep here, the scene as far as automotive stuff in general, there's a lot of people with a lot of classic cars, and muscle cars and different stuff. The hot rod scene, in my opinion, in the time I've lived in our area, at least, doesn't seem to be as strong as some of the other things like motorcycles, for instance. The motorcycle scene here in the Tampa Bay area is very big. There's rides and poker runs, and there's
always something going on.
There's always gangs, and that's not just street Harleys,
any bikes,
street bikes. You just see cliques and clubs or whatever. When it comes to the hot rods and stuff, there seems to be a lot of muscle car groups.
That being said, the groups are still just getting together for shows. Like there's really no.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Hey,
let's go on a cruise.
Right. So do you experience? And here's where we got to get you to start doing your job, babe.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, which is where we get the chime in from everybody else. I mean, is this the kind of things that you guys are experiencing in your areas? I mean, obviously, are the people we're talking about, Shaggy and those guys, they got a good clique of guys and friends and dudes that have each other's backs, it seems, in the automotive part of it.
Let me race through these comments real quick so I can get to anybody commenting. Lane Kelton's joining us. He said, I'm really digging the modifications to Kona. So
Thanks
cool.
So much.
Awesome work. So Gary Miller wanted to say hello from Nashville to you both.
What's
and
up,
hope
Gary?
You have a great Labor Day. We've got Ralph Pop Sanchez. Howdy, y'all, from San Antonio, Texas. Was checking out your progress on the back of the cab. Looks great, man. Keep up the amazing work.
Oh, thanks, Ralph.
You're getting a lot of support on this.
I appreciate it.
Robert Spear said wants to know if we're going to paint it super nice or keep it the rat rod look.
It's going ratty.
Yeah. Lane said culture stuff I've been checking out lately. The cars sold by American companies that weren't offered here. So many I feel like we have been cheated out of being in America. I have to agree, because we've heard that, like when we were talking to the guy from Australia, he was saying there's so many cars over there. Maybe not a lot of them get here. Is that what he's talking about? Cars that are sold by American companies that weren't offered here.
Right. And where's Lane?
He's in the United States.
Right.
Is that what he's talking about? He said, I feel like we've been cheated out of being in America. So they're American cars being sold overseas. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. I don't know if I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we've got Bob Fries on the hookup tonight.
What's up, Bob?
Shaboom. We'll be seeing him in a couple days.
Yes.
He said, hi guys, just left Shaggy's, painting almost done. So This is what I'm saying. Like they were all together tonight.
A collective group of people who've got each other's back, and it's awesome.
Shaggy said, this is Detroit. We're a gang. So not a car club there, but a gang.
Yeah.
Dominic Linares, the car scene is big in the 813. Yeah. I guess if we were in Tampa.
Well, and see, that's what I'm saying. So, but and it's a different mix of in the Tampa, in the interior parts of Tampa. Maybe there is, and maybe that's the sad part, is we're missing out on some of that.
We're
and again,
quite a bit far
here's the thing that it can make our thing biased as well, which is I work weekends most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm missing half the time. There's a show thing or a cruise in or whatever, and it's always every single time when I'm working.
You work almost every weekend, so yes, they're going to be on the weekend.
So that's the part that sucks, is we miss out, on that kind of stuff. But at the same time, though, like cruising around and driving around, I don't see, like, I'm not seeing a big collection of, on a Thursday night, a gaggle of hot rods rolling down the road.
Gaggle, is that the
I'm just saying, I'm not seeing it. And again, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm just not, around the right people. But I know on the weekends,
maybe,
on a Friday
maybe
night,
it is us. Maybe we're not out there
on a Friday night. I know that there are cruise-ins, and we want to talk about that as well, because that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
that I think is different in other areas. That what we do in Florida is the cruise-in is the main deal,
right?
Or the big cart, like a turkey rod.
And look, we've done those, and I think the best cruise in, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Gary Miller said the hot rod scene here in Nashville is huge. So I mean, there's people in other areas where
Vegas, I know, is huge, and again, some Midwest places for sure. And that's great. The weather is not the greatest in those areas,
right?
And sometimes their scenes are better than, although our weather is tricky.
Randy Keats said, yeah, the hot rod and muscle car scene here in Metro Detroit is huge. Yeah. It's a lot of older guys. Sometimes I feel like I'm the young gun. Sames. We need more young people in the scene for sure.
Yeah, that's a hard.
That
I guess that's the thing also too, and always in the back of my head is, how do we continue the culture? How do we continue to keep it going? Because a lot of young people, young guys, aren't that interested in cars. They're just not, and it's sad. Not saying that none are. I mean, listen, your two boys could give a shit about it. Cars, right. They don't care.
No,
your daughter kind of started to, and I was like, oh, but she'll look at them and they think they're. I mean, they all think they're cool, but there's no desire to go, oh man. Although the other day, Kevin was watching me out there working on stuff, and he's like, man, this is things. And I started telling him what it was, and he's like, oh my god, huh. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is Volkswagen, dude. Get yourself a Bug. Make that your car. It's so easier to work on, easy to get parts for, all that kind of stuff. And you can get a Bug pretty cheap.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, maybe I think about it. I'm like, well, sit in it. And he sat in and he's like, I need to go to Volkswagen.
Oh my God.
So
he's got the Bug.
Well, I'm sure he's like, is there really I can inherit this one? Not going to happen.
Rod Pfeiffer said Western Pennsylvania scene is mostly stock antique or brand new Mustangs, Camaros, or Corvettes. Yeah. We see a lot of that around here too.
Here too. Listen, not to cut you off. There's nothing wrong. And I'm a big supporter of there's room for everybody. If guys have got enough money to dump money into upgrading and building off of brand new cars, and that's their thing, and it's the thing that they like and the passion in it.
Look at my brother with his Corvette, loves it.
Absolutely,
he goes to all the meetups.
No different than, hey, I bought a new Jeep and I put big tires on it, did a lift, and the whole kind of thing. So I mean, there's room for that as well, but there's the grassroots portions, which is the older cars. It just, I don't know. I just hoping that some younger kids will want to get into it and continue it, because it's scary that I hate. They're already trying to push us out with EV. Not that there's anything wrong with electric vehicles. There's a little small portion for those, I guess. But hot rods and customs and rat rods and hot rods and traditional hot rods, and I mean, the culture itself is just, I'd hate to see it go away.
It's not going anywhere. Jim Pollan said motorcycle guys ride every weekend. Car guys go to an empty field and sit behind their car. Drive me crazy. I enjoy driving mine, and I am the happiest when I'm building. I don't go to many shows, just not fun for me. We were talking about this, so let's talk about it right now.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We've done that. We've sat. I'm like, why do we need chairs? We're going to be in the car. No, you need to bring chairs. And my first experience was, we just sat behind, Raquel was the first car that we had together that we were showing. And it was cool. People would just kind of mosey over. It was a lot of moseying and a lot of, I remember when I had this type of car.
Listen,
the walk down memory lane,
cool.
the nostalgia. I enjoyed that part of it. But it was just guys sitting behind their car, and like the people really weren't necessarily talking to each other. It was just, hey, look at what I have.
Well, and again, you'll see, like when we go to, like, for instance, when we were down in the basement, you saw car clubs that were sitting together and their cars were all together and they were hanging out, and they had, they're in their group and they're doing their deal, which was great, and they're representing. And again, there's where a car show is a car show, right? It's that part's cool. People are coming and they're interested. What's going on? Oh, I've never seen it. Other people from the outside are coming in to see, who maybe aren't car people, looking at cars, or other guys are, oh, this is great. Oh, the ladies looking at, oh, super cool. But you take the cruise in. So I remember as a kid, I got my first vehicle, my first taste of what the car culture was, as I'm cruising around in my 78 Toyota pickup truck. And that I got it was a hand-me-down. My dad went to Greenland for a job, and I was fortunate enough he left it to me. And of course, it's the stock white Toyota pickup, rusted to all get out. And it was left to me as my kind of my high school car. So the mini trucking scene was just starting up and really popular. So you had the Nissan hard bodies and the Mazda 2200Bs, and the Toyota, the newer Toyotas were coming out, and everybody was slamming them and bed dancing and all that kind of stuff. Well, I couldn't afford that. I had a hand-me-down. So I still grabbed one, lowered it, low pro tires, dropped it on the ground. But I was an outsider. But here's the thing. In my town, Santa Maria, California, where the West Coast Customs Show is, before, cruising was the thing. You would go to the mall parking lot, you'd park for a second, everybody see your cars, check them out, cool paint jobs, and then boom, you'd hit the road and you'd cruise up and down the boulevard. And then you'd stop, sit for 5-10 minutes, talk to some buddies. Oh, look at those guys. It was usually girls. There they go. Let's get in our, and then there'd be a group of, and then you'd see them group of people. That was, to me, when I think of the car culture, that's what I imagine is the cruising. It was cruising, seeing people's cars, like when we watched American Graffiti.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. And then, fast forward to where I don't have anything to do with cars because I'm out of it. I'm working, doing, responsibilities and all kinds of stuff. And then I get back into it, and then moving here, I finally can I have a job. I can afford an old car. I get an old car. I go to my first cruising, and it's just sitting. And I'm like, are we going to cruise at any point?
We did a couple things where we followed somebody somewhere. That was about the extent of our cruising. We've never truly done a cruise.
Right, yeah. So, and again, that's a cool thing too. You get a group of people. Hey, we're going to roll out to this show. Boom. And you got, a group of people heading down the roads. Because to me, so my favorite thing about the automotive thing is stagnant cars, cars sitting in a parking lot. It's cool to look at. But my favorite thing is I want to see it actually in motion.
The best experience that I had, I think, was when we went to Old Town.
Yeah, I mean that's the draw of that place.
There was an entire day of sitting behind our car, but there were hundreds of probably thousands of people that walked through from all of their countries. This was an area near Disney, so there were a lot of people visiting, and there's a lot of people not from the United States. So we got to meet people there were people from Africa, there were people from England, we had people from other parts of the United States. I mean, there were just a ton of people from everywhere, and they were coming over, and our car was one of the cars that we made available for people to sit in and, beep the horn, let your kids climb all over it, because it was a rat rod type thing. And I was more worried about these people getting hurt in the car.
Shot or something.
Yeah. So, that was the most fun. So we did that the entire day, had food, and just like basically entertain people. I felt like we were entertaining people, giving them some history about the car.
That felt more like the big car, like the car show we went to in Detroit. I mean, that's what that felt like.
Right.
is where it was a big show and people were you were not only just car people, but you had other outside people that, oh my God, these are really cool, and they were coming to learn and coming to see.
Right.
That's cool.
And then at a certain point, we all did line up and we did a cruise through the little city.
And it's cool because, again, you get to see cars in motion, hear the exhaust, they got lights or whatever. It's still neat.
And that was one of my favorite parts of Autorama is when everybody left.
That was right. The rollout,
but it was so
the
fun.
rollout was the coolest.
That
Hearing
was
the car fire up, even if it was a short little blip and you couldn't really hear it, going crazy or whatever. But it was still so cool to see the car in motion. And that's the bummer side of, and I'm sure we're not the only people that think that, but I think the cruise-ins are good. I think they're great because it's getting communities of automotive people together. And it, like there's the one that's every Friday night we've gone. Well, we're not going to it, but we're like going past it as we're heading down to Dunedin to have a couple drinks. As we see, there's a group of guys at every Friday night.
We don't have a car that can go right now.
No, not at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't stopped.
Right. What I'm saying is, but we've stopped and we've talked to those guys, and it's 7-8 dudes, always the same guys that show up, which is great. They're obviously friends and they hang out together, and they're making it available. And I'm sure they want it to be bigger and they want more people to show up. But that's the bummer side. Like, it makes me go, why can't the 7 or 12 or 13 or 20, you sit for a few and you roll. And then you come back and park again. There's got to be
a plan for that, probably.
And I'm sure.
Because, like, to have a car show in, like, Northern Toll, you've done car shows at your place of business.
We've had huge ones.
You have to get
hundreds of
pre-approval, and you have to. Somebody needs to have insurance for the event.
Sure.
This would, when you're doing the cruise and you guys are all just showing up at like a diner, that's not really an event.
And so here's the thing that can sometimes, unfortunately, here's the negative. And we're gonna have to read the comments are coming in.
I know. I want to.
So we're gonna take a pause and read some of them. Hold on. Let me make this point real quick.
Okay.
The problem is that there, and this is no different than like even at motorcycle events or whatever, is unfortunately sometimes, you got the cruising going on, and then something happens, and then the cops got to come and they shut it down, and there's all that kind of stuff that happens. And I don't know, there's got to be a balance of it, like there's got to be somewhere, maybe the law is trying to keep it safe, but they understand too. And you know what I mean? There's got to be a good, I don't know, it's rough. They did, there was many times the cops would come and clear out the mall parking lot because it was too many cars, underage people drinking and stuff. So I totally get it. But
that was a bunch of kids.
But there's nothing like cruising to me. That's just my feeling.
All right, let's read some.
Being in your car, rolling on. I think it's just the coolest, funnest part.
All right, I'm going back to Rod Piper. This was 15 minutes ago.
Hey guys, we're so sorry that we didn't get to all your comments, but
I prefer pre-64 traditional hot rods and customs, and that's true. Everybody has their preference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Howard Pierpont said local car club has a meet in a different location each month, sort of a parade as they come and go. All cars.
That's
welcome.
cool.
That's
a
good
cool
idea.
Thing too.
Lane Kelton said yes. Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and such made and have some cool cars in other countries that they have never been offered in America.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Mark Sumner, Australia, has an awesome El Camino made by Chevy, which is under the Holden name. We don't get here in the U.S. Mark, your shirt is going out tomorrow. Scott Pruitt, I've really noticed the difference in radio stations. Everything went to trade school in Denver from California in the 70s. So, yeah, I've really noticed the difference in radio stations to everything went to trade school in Denver. I'm not sure. maybe the radio stations. Yeah. Hal Schaefer's joining us. Maybe the hot rods need new genuine Stromberg carburetors. Real deal. How about it, carburetor man? Howard said, talked with a 70-year-old friend with a Model A, says he will never go to another A club meet because everyone was in a wheelchair or with a cane. You know what? And I'll tell you why, because that generation takes good care of their stuff. That guy's probably had that car since, early on.
Well, and again, so then there's the historian type vehicles, which is they're like, do not ever turn this pristine 28 into a hot rod.
Yeah.
Please don't. And you know what I mean? So yeah. And that's one of those, there's a true, without disparaging or trying to talk bad about, the like the Pebble Beach people who are building $1 million cars and have money to throw at it. And again, nothing against those people because they have the means to do it.
But that's not the majority.
I wish I did. No, but if you have the means to do it, I'm certainly not going to be jealous. I wish I had the means to throw. Although we've talked a million times, if I had a ton of money, I still wouldn't buy some high end. I'd still want, I'd want a traditional hot rod. That's what I'd want.
And those aren't traditional hot rod. They're not cheap. Get my otter,
but they're not. You already got half your otter sitting over here, so I'm expecting that other part to come. Anyways, I would love to do that, but those aren't inexpensive either. So that's the tough part is,
Yeah, but how far would you take it? Would you want it pretty and do the pristine paint job? And
I think it would be amazing to own. Sure, it would be amazing to own one of those really awesome, super custom show style cars you could put in, one of the big shows or whatever. Would it be cool? Yeah, but no.
Then we'd need a trailer.
I would want that's what I'm saying. I would want something I can get in and drive as much as I want. It's reliable enough to be reliable. Mm-hmm. It's an old car, so it's not going to always be reliable. But to build it reliable enough to where it's reliable,
I've learned that's the fun of it.
That's my dream of what I would want, but that's not everybody's flavor. But everybody, there are people that want the high end stuff too. But
it's very personal.
And again, going back to where do they go? So do they come? We've done it to where the street lights come on, and suddenly all the pristine hot rod, they pack up and they leave, or a little bit of raindrops, they leave, and there's a part of me that goes, we joke, are you afraid to get a little bit of moonlight on it, or what's the deal? Street lights, is it afraid, or rain? It's afraid of rain. But those guys got so much money invested in them, and they're probably investments as well.
It may be because they're 90 and it's bedtime.
That's possible too. And listen, at least the 90-year-old guy got out there and he still showed up. So I got nothing against it at all. It's such a Guys, it's such a hard,
very personal. This is a hard topic.
Yeah.
Scott Strickland said, moving back here to Florida from California after 40 years, there is a very different vibe. So like you said, having traditional custom and hot rod withdrawal, there are some here, but not nearly the volume I'm used to in both NorCal and SoCal. Yeah.
And it's just a different vibe. And again, listen, there's also the I've heard and I've not experienced because I didn't have a hot rod in California. Just and my only experience was as a young guy with the mini truck days, but there was very clicky back then, which is those guys. I thought for what I could afford and what I had, I went and got, paint job. I did as much as I could do that I could afford. And there were people like 78, dude, 78. That truck is so ugly. What's funny is now it's such a sought after vehicle. But back then they were like,
you're a trendsetter.
Come on, dude. You got to have the newer style Toyotas or the Mazda, which the Mazdas was the badass thing during the mini trucking days. It still is, which is cool. There was a group of young kids 2 days ago. I saw 4 dudes rolling mini trucks, and I was like, oh. I almost wanted to follow them and
be like, "Hey guys!"
No, I was like, I just wanted to go
keep it up. High five.
I did, and then I was like, and then I thought they're gonna go, "Fuck you,
get out of here, old man."
But I was like, "That's so cool," because I was like, that was me.
Like you probably already had pictures queued up on your phone of your mini truck.
Yes.
To show them. Look,
I was gonna go. This is how it started.
You're welcome.
Because there was one kid that was the third truck in, was following him with 20-inch wheels. And I'm like, no. You got to ditch those and get with your other buddies that are doing it right. They're rolling around 13, 14-inch wheels, so low pros.
You would have been that guy. I could totally see you being that guy. That would have been hilarious.
What do you mean?
Just being the old guy. Dominic Linares said Slam Fest is a large show at the Florida State Fairgrounds in October.
It is. And again, there are the Turkey Rod Run, big show. Bulletproof, big show. Slamfest, big show. There's some VW, Bug Jam, there's all these shows which are great. Nothing against those shows. They're fantastic. They bring in a lot of the people from the groups of people, and they come in and there are clubs of those things too, which is why I bought a Volkswagen, because we went to a couple Volkswagen shows. Everybody was super nice. There was a lot of people rolling out together.
Yes.
It seemed very togetherness oriented, and I was like, oh my god, we really dig that. I got to get a bug. So I got a bug, and we've rolled with some people. And they've been very nice
ton of stuff
us.
together.
It just I don't get to get off weekends, and I miss everything. Well, we miss everything, but that's gonna change because as soon as Kona's ready, man, she's coming out in force.
And I'm gonna start driving her.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
That'd be badass.
I just have to. Your gears are just maybe when you put everything back, you're gonna have to learn it a little bit or something.
No, you're gonna have to learn how to drive it.
I know how to drive a stick, but that one you're gonna have to
learn how to
it's my
drive
right
it.
hand I'm shifting with now. It's
Get
gonna be
over
an
it.
issue.
Just start lifting weights.
I've been injured. Wiley Vincent said I went to a real nice car show this weekend. I posted pictures on my Instagram. We'll have to go check that out. Matt Williams said there is a car scene here in Idaho, but it's not like it is in other areas. You do have your car clubs that have their meetups and shows, but there is a car culture here. You wouldn't think in Idaho.
Why is that?
I don't know. Isn't it very hilly and mountainous? Isn't it kind of hard to?
That really doesn't have anything to do with it. The car culture itself, where, look at Michigan's under snow most of the time.
Well, it's true.
But it's Detroit, baby. That's where it all started.
The Motor City, which I really only learned this year. James Olchin said the problem is cars nowadays are too much computers. The older ones are much easier to work on, which is what you were just sharing with my son.
Yeah.
Marcus Warner said the scene here in in Amarillo is basically a lot of guys with cars, but no real clubs that hang out and wrench on each other's cars. See? Yeah. So there's another area. Lane Kelton said many different car cultures. I hate to see EV trying to get rid of the smell of oil and gas fumes. Yeah, Johnny's a big supporter of the gas fumes.
I'm about burning oil.
Not cooking with it. Dominic Linares road rallies in the 813. So that's a car club. Now we have been invited to join. Remember the Christian Hot Rod Association car club? We were going to a few meetings.
And again, it
never really panned out.
What I'm saying is not, well, we did go to a few things, and it was about sitting in your car and
right.
And again, I really want my
some would say if you want to see the change, be the change.
I know. Listen, I know. Well, remember me and Phil, my buddy Phil.
You started your own car club. The two of you.
And then 3 days later he moves. So was it me?
God, I miss Phil.
Was it me?
Oh, Phil is phenomenal. He is doing some great work with interiors. He does upholstery and great stuff.
I was excited because he had the same opinion, which was, dude, it should be about rolling out.
And look what he's doing now. He rolls out with those guys all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
He's in it.
So he's in a group of guys where they help each other and they fix on each other's cars and different stuff like that, to where it's like, again, skill sets are being exchanged and stuff like that. I see it on all these damn Facebook pages I follow of hot rod guys, where they've got a big group of dudes and they go over to a guy's house and they wrench on the weekdays or at night. Hey, I got this part. Let me help you with that. And
Johnny is here to tell you a second set of eyes and a second set of hands is always welcome.
How do you mean that?
In the garage. Gary Miller.
Is that what you're calling your friendly parts?
Gary Miller said, looking forward to wearing your gear on my tour coming up.
Hey, man.
Did you send him stuff?
We haven't. No.
Oh my God! No wonder why he's saying it.
Because I just talked to him earlier.
You know what? We have a shirt order that we're printing tonight that is going out tomorrow. Do we know his size?
Yeah, but see, he's on tour. That's why I hadn't been sending it, because he's not back yet.
Oh, well, it's gonna have to wait a week then, Gary. Hit us up when you are
stable. He was back a week, and then was the window, and then stuff came up with us, and I missed the window.
Yeah,
I gotta get it. He's out on tour, and he's like, dude, I'll wear your stuff on stage. Okay. So we got to get it to him.
We have, guys, special treat, CJ Custer, local artist.
Yeah,
Chris Custer.
Yeah,
Motormouth Studios. He said, you're thinking of a group of friends that all support each other with their cars, bikes, etc. It's just not like that here. It's very much brand specific and age oriented, etc. You and I have talked a few times about the culture scene. Remember, road pirates just won't work here. Car shows are just that. Show the car, not hang out. Watch the Bobbertown video called The Sinners. We both dig that style of group. Yeah. And Chris has just a ton of stuff going on. Phenomenal artist, guys. You'll have to go check out his stuff. Like I said, Motormouth Studios. But yeah, he's local to us, and I haven't seen him really roll out with anybody either. So
well, he's look at, so he was into the bugs for a while, and then he got the van, and then the van scene was kind of blowing up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he gets it, and I'm sure he's experiencing the same thing, which is there's a lot of guys with different stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the sauce is to make it different. And again, nothing against, because like our cruise-ins and different stuff like that, sometimes we'll raise money for charities and different stuff like that. There's
definitely reasons to go to some of them.
There's good things about it. And having a like restaurants that throw cruise-ins, which is cool. It's a good way to promote your business and get people there, which is great. And it gives them, other patrons an opportunity, another reason to come and check it out. And sometimes they'll have music and that kind of thing. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I guess for me,
we just miss.
Listen, US 19 is a great example. You could cruise 19 forever.
Yeah.
Light to light, or hey, we're going from Tarpon to Clearwater, and then we're going from Clearwater to Tarpon, whatever. To where and again, lights could break it up a smidge, but it could be that. Look at Tarpon Springs. Like, why can't I don't understand. There's another cool place you could cruise into that thing, roll out,
no lights,
find a big giant parking lot, and I guess maybe it's what happens in the parking lot, and that's what stops that kind of stuff. But how does it not stop the motorcycle guys that do that? Like they go.
Well, it's probably easier for motorcycles to park.
Okay,
but you're talking 40 cars.
But they'll go from bar to bar to bar to bar. And I'm not saying specifically, hey, it's bar to bar to bar to bar thing. You go to restaurant to whatever, but it's just
coffee shop to coffee shop, ice cream,
whatever. It just seems like there could be, like that. And then, and again, like you said, maybe it's
cruising the causeway. How cool would that be?
That's what I'm saying. You cruise it, park,
Tampa to Clearwater,
roll for a minute, cruise out to the other causeway.
Again, I think maybe
there's things that could be done.
We propose,
and again, maybe it's been tried, maybe it's been shut down. I haven't lived here. I mean, we've lived here a long time, but I've never seen that kind of stuff going on automotive wise.
Now we've seen like the Volkswagen meets. They do that. They were doing that on Thursday.
Yeah, sure. But again, everybody rolls down,
just
parks.
Jeeps have their own deal.
It's still cool. They roll down on a Thursday night. They park by the causeway. They hang out. They shoot the shit.
And then everybody pretty much leaves at the same time.
As soon as you get out to the entrance, and then they kind of not everybody, but maybe 2 or 3 roll, and it breaks up. I just think it would be cool to see. Just nothing cooler than seeing like the Bullies on the Bridge, where it's the buses that go over the Skyway. How cool is that to see 50, 100 buses all in a line, barely doing the speed limit? And they're just rolling out together. You know what I mean?
Look at how many more people get to see your ride rather than sitting in a parking lot somewhere. Yeah.
If you end up at a parking lot and you stop there and you wait and you hang out.
It's just something that I mean, maybe we start something once we get the truck done.
Johnny, what's the problem?
Once
I guess
we get the truck
gotta
done.
move.
Matt and Stacy said it seems a lot of guys don't cruise their cars, just parking for shows, then leaving. Absolutely. Lisa Paul said, get your kicks on Route 66, right? Wouldn't that be a fun cruise?
I've run it.
You've gotten your kicks?
I've gone to 66. Nice. Went to the 66 museum.
Jim McMillan said, my buddy has a 55 Chevy Suburban and a 54 Plymouth Savoy. He takes them to car shows. He's a pretty shy guy. I've known him for 20 plus years. One thing I've noticed when we go to the car show, it helps bring him out of his shell because he gets tons of questions on his builds. So car shows have definitely helped him with his social anxiety.
Car shows are great.
It is. And it's, I mean, even just the little, if you saw Raquel when we brought her to these shows, she was just a hunk of metal with her imperfections, and people were just like, it is so cool what you did with her. And we're like, time did this to her. Like, we didn't.
I just slapped.
Didn't really do anything.
I slapped the 15th paint
jobs
because I've changed in the last week and a half of Krylon.
Yeah.
And we've now landed on flat black. We didn't start there, but that's where we landed.
But it's so.
And it was just like, hey.
What a confidence booster, though.
What was it? And again, what the fun part was having people come up and ask questions, and who maybe hadn't sat in an old car. And again, as back during those times, as it is today, all I wanted was it's gonna sound creepy, and I don't mean it in a creepy way. Some little kid to come up and say, "Oh, can
touch my car?
Can they sit in the car with their parents' approval? Is it cool if and or they would just walk up and look, oh, don't touch it." And as soon as the mom and dad said, "Don't touch it," I was like, "You want to get in it?" And they'd go, "What?" I'm like, "Get in it."
The little kids' faces.
And that was, to me, that was like, okay, I'm now placing in a memory bank for this young person somewhere. Hopefully, it locks into something, and they go, "When I get old enough, I'm going to get a car like this or something old." Whatever that is, because I remember what it was like the first time I got to sit behind the wheel of an old car, an old hot rod, and thought, this is amazing.
Right. And that's where it started for you.
I don't even care what that 79 Chrysler, what was it my mom had? Chrysler
LeBaron?
No, it was, what the heck was it? It was one of the big boats, man. But it was, for the time, it was like, that's a fairly new car. But I was like, oh, I want one of these old ones. These are the coolest. So that's what the hope is.
Howard Pierpont said American Graffiti was more like Dragon Maine when I was a kid. Sonic down Maine to A&W, turn around and come back.
Yeah, and again, do you have in your towns? Do you have cruises? Do you have? Are there cruises happening in your town? And if they are, where are they happening? Please comment and let us know in the comments where are cruises happening still. Because to me, I just think there's nothing cooler than a cruise. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, again, the car itself, motorcycle, doesn't matter, whatever it is, in motion is the best part.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a car sit static, your hopes as a designer, your hopes as a customizer is that when it's sitting static, it's evoking emotion. But there's nothing like seeing that car or whatever it is in motion, noise, smell.
You love seeing your own car in motion.
I do. I love nothing than a big, cool window that's got a great picture reflection where you can drive by it and look at it and go, okay. Because you get a good idea of like, oh, I need to change that. Oh, that needs to be fixed. There's it's a great way. I'll tell you, can you film me driving by?
Right.
Because I want to see what it looks like in motion, because that's going to tell you. For instance, what's her name took a picture of us of Kona making a right. And I saw it and I was like, ugh, I don't like how the front looks right there. The nose needs to come down a lot more than it is. What are you doing over there? It sounds like you're wrestling an alligator.
I'm sorry.
With your weak hand.
I know.
Here's an idea. Hold your mic.
I got it.
There you go. Jeepers.
Okay.
Hey, did everybody enjoy that? That was really fun.
Sorry. Matt Williams said, I have my Dodge Challenger I take, but it's not the same like when I had my 67 Firebird. Even had someone who wasn't going to let me in the first time I entered the Challenger at a show. He thought I was just trying to park my car closer to the festivities. He just gave an odd look and that I was entering it.
And look, there are shows where there's rules of years.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because it's a specific show for specific years cars. Then there's open ones, which it's like any year doesn't matter. And those are great too. I think there's something to be said about the ones where they're putting a year point off. But I would say if you're a 60s later to 70s 80s cars or whatever, then you got to make your show too. It's kind of like what you call it does. Even the Kissimmee Old Town does a break off.
Yeah, they do.
But they have for the new and old.
Draco Cycles joining us tonight. He said, we went to Disney World in the late 80s and there was a show there then at Old Town. Yeah, I think they've been doing it for a really long time.
It's one of the oldest cruising car shows. And again, that was the appeal of Old Town to me. It's still one of my favorite places to go.
It is. It's so much fun.
You're holding it now?
I am. You told me to hold it.
No, I was saying just hold on to it.
Oh,
like this.
It just keeps sinking. We need new ones. James Olchin said, we have had several deaths at car cruises here in Lincoln in the past few years. I think it's going to happen.
There's guys.
It's hot out there. I mean, it could be
guys and gals. That's the hard part of, unfortunately, is sometimes bad stuff happens.
Chongo NorCal is joining us. Cruising on a Saturday afternoon, right?
Yeah, just
do it.
I just remember it, and it's the part. It's my favorite thing to do. That's why I like driving.
Right.
But I always sit there and go, as I'm driving, I'm like, oh, how cool would it be if there was like 80 of us right here, or 4, even 3. Like, look at the other night, we went on a date.
We did.
I took my lady on a date.
My lady.
What'd you get?
Oh, which date are you talking about? Because we've been on a few.
To the date we went on.
Lucky Dill?
It was a date.
Lucky Dill.
Lucky Dill was not a date.
It wasn't?
No, the meetup. That was a date. Where we met up.
Oh.
That's a date. Like the old days. Hey, I'll meet you over here.
We did meet
when I get off of work.
Yeah.
What'd you have?
We met at the Tarpon Tavern, and I had a salad.
And I had a smash burger with a beer. It was a great night. And then we went and spent $900 on some wine and cheese because you had to have it.
I love my wine and cheese.
But it was a date. But okay, so here it was fun. Then, because we met up, got in separate vehicles.
Both Jeeps.
And cruised home together.
We did.
And at some point, we're side by side, ruling the 2-lane.
With our matching Jeeps.
Nobody could pass us. And it was fun because we rolled the windows down and I looked over at you. You looked over at me and I was like, hey, hottie. Yeah. I was like, how you doing? But
what are you doing?
I just
Can I follow you home?
Again, so for me, that was a fun moment. It was us. We were cruising together. It was fun. I love it. I'm an idiot. I guess
you're adorable.
I guess I'm just nostalgic for those times. What Dan Evans have to say?
Well, let me read the other comments.
Oh, okay.
Dana Baldwin said, me, my brother, and our friends used to cruise the Palm Springs Strip back in the day. See, that would be fun. We didn't have great cars, though. A Carmen Ghia and no upholstery and a 66 Rambler Ambassador. Those sound pretty cool.
Listen, it doesn't. That's the cool thing about cruising, really. It's not always just about how cool your car is. No. It's that you're out there cruising.
Yeah. Wiley Vincent said, I love car shows. I don't have a car to take, but love when you see, for example, 55 Chevys, but they're totally built different. Love to see how people put their own twist on the vehicles. Absolutely. Excuse me. When we, sorry, it's my truly wild berry. When we see a car show, we're not in our old car either. And we'll stop.
Yeah.
So
fun.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's good times.
Mabel Morris is joining us. Volkswagen family is the best. Yeah, we've met some really great Volkswagen people.
Yes, for sure.
And
Solid
I can't wait to get the truck back on the road. They're all rooting for you to get this thing done and we can get back out there. Everybody be like, hey, we're doing Thursday night. Are you coming? And we couldn't. There were plenty of things we missed.
And again, that's the cool thing about the Volkswagen group is they are going and doing things. Every weekend something's. Even if there's not a car show, there's some group of Volkswagen people that are doing something together. And I will say, at least they're cruising out, and we're missing that part. So I guess it's maybe a little wrong of me to say that the scene isn't as great here as it was there, because we're missing a lot of it. I know, but
they seem to be doing stuff. They do. Howard Pierpont said used to belong to Emergency Vehicle Owners Operations Association, the EVOOA convention once a year, and people would bring their retired police cars, escorted 50-mile cruise, including lunch,
fun
education sessions, and a museum tour, light show at night.
Fun.
That would be neat. Bob Brandel said, what's up, buddy? The bed is looking good. Hell, whole car is.
Thanks, man. Making good use of that thing.
Mabel said, bug jam.
Yes.
That's the plan.
That's my goal, is to get Kona 5
ready to go.
The bug jam.
Scott Pruitt said, I heard about Ian Russell's being in Oroville, California last year. Went, brought a friend early, saw Ian, and talks with Gene Winfield right next door. What a day. Wow. Yeah, that's a bucket lister right there for you, I'm sure.
That's cool.
Were you going to say something?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Wiley said, Santa Cruz does a Volkswagen car show on Christmas. Then after the show, they take a drive. It's like a parade of Volkswagens.
See, now Bug Jam does do that too. We do. There was like a scavenger hunt one year where there was a bunch of bugs running around, which was fun. And then there was the one where we went from Bug Jam and then we all cruised down to Dade City and parked in the streets of Dade City, which again was cool. The cruise over there was cool. Then we parked for a couple hours, and then it was find your way back, that was cool. But I thought, I guess I just want it to be where it's more cruising. I don't know.
I'm going to butcher this name. Edward. It's not Lucchese. It's like those.
Lucchese? It's like the boots?
It might be. Look, we just had this conversation today because I heard a song and I thought it was Lucchese and it's not.
Well, his might be. I don't know.
Might be.
Is it Lucchese?
I don't know. He said, I always let kids sit in my race car at the track or shows the kids or what it's about.
Best, man.
I know, Johnny loves
it. It is
loves
the best.
Lizzie said Orlando has one every month downtown. They play old music and drive around.
In Orlando? Really?
Ed said you never get to hear how your car sounds to other people. Oh, I know.
Yeah, and that's it's so funny. That's one of my things, man. Is there have been times I've tried to set my phone up on up against a curb just to see, because I just want to see it in motion. I did it with a Jeep. I'm like, okay, I need to know, how does it look when it's, what does it look like? Like, what does it look like? When you see a cool car
You've had me drive it.
I know. Because when you see a cool car coming at you and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, you can't get the experience unless you see it. So you need to see it so you can go, okay, I need to, something needs to be different about that.
I've never seen myself in my Jeep. So now you got me wondering.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. See?
Diane said, Babe's Hot Dogs on Jefferson Street in Joliet, Illinois has cruise nights every Wednesday nights. We go, have a bite to eat, visit with friends, listen to DJ music. We take our 39 Plymouth Coupe. Lots of fun.
So in that show, so do you cruise in and then you park, eat your hot dogs and your fun, and then everybody hangs for a little bit and then rolls out together? Or is it just kind of it ends and it's all over?
Dan Evans says, I love Raquel, not only because it's the first car I remember my parents having when I was growing up, but the 51 Chevy was a non-spectacular model. You almost never see it as a popular model year in shows or otherwise.
Well, Dan,
especially the 4-door.
Dan, I got to take you to some shows, man, because the 51 Chevy, 49 to 52 or
and 54, really.
Well, no, hold on. Just that body style, 49 to 52. Especially 2-doors. Make some sick customs.
Yeah.
And then of course you got 53 is a 53, 54s is where the change started happening. Makes sick customs. So we got to get you to a show, man, so you can see them, because you'd think Raquel, you'll go, okay.
I don't know if he has the time for the show. They are world travelers heading to Asia.
Okay, year. when you go to Asia, if you're heading to Japan at all, make sure you go, because the hot rod scene in Japan is amazing, and there's amazing customs over there. I'll bet you'll find some 51s over there that are sick, done really interestingly. Like, one of my most favorite 51 customs is actually a car that was built in Japan. I love what they did with the headlight treatment. It's such a cool, neat thing. It was so a Japanese style of custom. It's such a sick car. I'll have to post it on my Facebook page. It's such a badass car. I love it so much. I'm like, I'd love to go there and see it.
We are already at an hour, but I want to read the rest of these comments, and then I think we're gonna have to wrap.
We're having fun, man. This is a great topic.
We've got other stuff to do. Yes. This was my idea, by the way. You know it was. Do not even take.
Let's make sure we hit all the topics. Go ahead. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna double check our topics.
We've got Timmy Kalutsis joining us. Hey everyone, hope all is well. Welcome, sir. Diane said lots of other cruises, several nights through this week too. So this is actually a pretty hot time for cruises. I think it's decent weather.
Summer in most areas are. This is the time where everybody's pulled them out of the garages. All the work that's been going on during the winter. They're finally getting the cars are being seen, and all the changes that were done. It's a great time. Most areas of the United States are doing that, and of course other countries that are really having fun doing it too. So
Steven Cinnamon is joining us. I've put a car in a show in the same place for 22 years, and I let anyone in. I'm not going to break some kid's heart that is trying, nor am I going to stop a new Challenger, Mustang, etc. from coming in. It would be different if I had a year cut off. These people need a place to go. We all started somewhere. It's what I'm getting at.
Love it. Yes. And that's truly my point of all of it, which is there is room for everybody. And I get some shows that they have the year cutoffs, and again, I'm okay with specific shows that have cutoffs. I'm okay with that. And because there are other shows where there are no cutoffs, and there's room for everybody. and it'd be no different than maybe some crazy rice burner car that showed up at a hot rod show, and people would probably, why do you do that? I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay with part of it, but I'm also a firm believer that there is room for everybody, and there's we got to keep the culture going again, regardless of what.
And the message from Johnny: just cruise,
for sure, man. I'm gonna have to make that shirt.
Just cruise.
Just cruise,
that would be a good one. No one steal it. Chongo said exactly. Just get out there. Just get out and be out there and cruise. Timmy said, love what you're doing with the bug.
Thanks so much.
Ed said, yes, like the boots. So it's what?
Lucchese.
Lucchese?
Lucchese.
Okay. The McCoys are joining us. Brian and Lisa McCoy.
The Couillon Customs.
Used to cruise my Pinto station wagon back in high school from the McDonald's in one town to the Sonic in another town. The Sonic was huge. I didn't see a Sonic until I moved to Florida.
Same.
Where the heck were
I never even heard of it.
I know.
Until I got here.
We had Stewart's drive-ins. That was our drive-in.
Never heard of that either.
Jim McMillan said we used to cruise State Street. Had my 79 Mercury Merc Zephyr on Friday and Saturday nights. So fun.
State Street.
Then the city shut down. No longer allowed to cruise. End of an era.
State Street, California.
I don't know.
Santa Barbara.
I'm not sure where Jim is
I would
from.
love to know State Street, Santa Barbara, because and what year was that? Because I might have been there cruising too at the same time, because I cruised. There was many a night I was like, I'm rolling my.
Do you remember 79 Merc Zephyr?
Yeah, Zephyr. But I remember, I remember a couple evenings where I was like, well, you know what? I want to go to. I'm gonna roll my Toyota all the way up to Santa Barbara, and I'm gonna hit State Street and cruise. Was it State Street? Yeah, it was State Street, Santa Barbara.
Diane said, no, we stay. Others come and go throughout the night. So the car show.
Okay, cool. That's cool that there's an option of both. And that's what I'm saying. The cruising should be that's what the cruising is, where it's you cruise in, some people roll out and maybe do some
other
and again,
stuff.
Burning some fuel, baby. You know what I'm saying? I know that's wrong. Especially the way
the most exhilarating part for me when we first started rolling out with Raquel was people coming up next to us and beeping, like at first I'm like, what is your problem? And then I was like, oh, we're in a cool car.
You forget, right?
I'm like, I do forget because Matt Williams said, I have a friend who recently purchased the 34 Ford on the 4th of July. He stopped by the house and had me go for a ride. I was the one who was driving. It was one of the coolest cars I got to drive.
Listen, I got an experience as well.
Jerry.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I'd never got to experience what it was like to drive a 32, and a gentleman that we had become friends with tosses me the keys and goes, all right, man, take it off. And
this is like it was
I'm
beautiful.
Like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, go ahead.
Bright red,
beautiful. I mean, it was a super custom show quality show car, and he was like tossing me the keys and he's like, yeah, let's make that dream happen. And it was an experience.
I saw the video of it.
It was an experience where I was like, it was so amazing, and it just again bit the bug of like, I want a 20s car so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mike Hick said 20 Boulevard, Cali, 1960s. Cruising to Frankenmuth soon. Forget about
it. Nice. Yes.
Dan said, I stand corrected. I guess I don't get around enough. We are in Japan just for a 12-hour layover in Tokyo. We will spend lots of time in Bangkok and Singapore.
Well, then I will bring you pictures, my friend, of some really crazy 49 to 50, fours even, customs and hot rods of using that body style. They gassers and customs and lead sleds. It's such a great
easily customizable, maybe.
None of it's easy.
Well,
but just yes.
As far as
again, for me,
go.
That's why I fell in love with that car, even though it's a 4-door, and that's the part I always wish it was a 2-door. But
it might be
the hips of that car.
Since we still have it, we haven't got rid of it yet.
The hips on that car are sexy.
Hips don't lie.
They is one of my most favorite rear fender body areas of an automobile is that year.
I like the way you said of an automobile.
It is.
Yeah, I mean,
because you look at, because listen, 49 Merc, sick.
That's
they
my
just
fave.
right.
It's my
Okay?
fave.
But the body on a Merc is it just goes nothing wrong with it.
It slopes down.
It's sexy in its own way, and especially when it's dropped on the ground and chopped and the whole thing. That's why it's the most iconic lead sled vehicle.
Love it.
But you take it that 50s Chevy with those hips. She is sexy.
Daddy like.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's why look at the Dodge that's being done over there. There's a little bit. It's got a little bit of a little hip to it too. So
a little bit.
Jim McMillan said.
Jim McMillan said State Street, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
He was not there. He was not there. Lizzie said Plant City does a car show every third Saturday of the month. Indeed, we know.
We've been there.
And I'm telling you guys, once this truck is done, we're getting it out because there's not going to be an excuse. We're gonna. Even if we just take it out to dinner on a Friday night.
Listen, I vowed somehow, some way. I've already asked for the time off, and hopefully it'll be approved. But when Bug Jam comes, even if I got to tow the damn thing there, I'm gonna get it.
We're getting it there. The McCoy said we all had CBs in our cars when we cruised around back in the day to let everyone know where we were going next. I still install CBs in all my routes. I was a CB girl for about a year. Loved it. But I was in a 77 Nova. 4-door. That was my grandparents.
Oh my God. It's so funny to think back to the time of cruising was like right when beepers were like super.
Oh, yeah.
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 Where you'd be driving, cruising, and then you'd be like,
I'd always get where I'd always get
the who's this?
I'd get the 8008.
That's when you had to remember a phone number. You're like, who is this calling me?
Right.
Boobs.
Yeah, boob. Jean-Paul Vanderdak. Hello, my friends from the Netherlands and the night shift over here. How you guys doing? Love progress on the car.
Hey, thanks so much, my friend.
That is we are caught up on comments, guys. We need to get going. We're at an hour and 15 minutes about.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say our goodbyes. But this was super fun.
Man.
And I will tell you, stay tuned this week, guys, because we're gonna do some lives. There's gonna be a lot of photos.
Yes.
It is going to be a fun time. We're meeting up with our pals on Wednesday. I think we're rolling out to the show on Thursday.
We'll see when we get to
Detroit.
Detroit.
And it's just going to be a phenomenal time. I can't wait to see Scott's car. I can't wait to see Shaboom promised me that there'd be fire. So I'm looking forward to that.
Uncle Larry's, the changes he's done in his truck.
Yep.
Can't wait to see that stuff. Just can't wait to see everybody.
Gib, can't wait to see
Can't wait to reconnect with all of our old pals from our new pals.
I feel like
I
we've
do.
known them
They
for
listen.
years.
They've treated us.
Oh my God, I love them all.
Remember we said we weren't going to talk about them, but it's hard not to talk about.
It really is hard.
Really, people who have taken us in and really treated us with such kindness, and we can't. It's why we're going back. We're so excited to experience that again on another level. And it's just so we're so grateful that we get the opportunity to go. And thank you guys for supporting us.
Yes.
Those that bought art through the last few months and stuff, and t-shirts and auctions and different things. You've motivated and you've helped us be able to go to this show and represent, continue to grow the brand. We thank you for showing up this Monday and every Monday night that you've showed up and been a part of it. We love the comments. Thank you, everyone who commented tonight and was a part of this podcast.
So fun, guys.
Such an interesting. I know. I kicked myself. I was in reverse kung fu. It was such a cool way to talk about topics that are they're a little tricky because you're trying not to
offend anybody
and don't want to single anybody out or discount anybody. Again, we're firm believers that there's room for everybody in the culture. Whatever your culture is as far as the style or type or whatever it is, there's so much availability of space for all of us. It's the one true thing where inclusiveness is truly there's room for everybody.
And you are all here because you love cars.
Yeah, well, hopefully because you like us a little bit too.
Yeah, but I mean that the hot rod art that you do. I mean, you do other art as well, and maybe you're supporting Johnny as an artist. But if you know him, you know that his love of drawing is cars. And
thank you all so much who have been so supportive over the fabrication stuff I've been doing, and the thumbs ups and the likes and just the continued support. And hey, good job and great job. It's been. He
needs to hear.
There are days, there are moments, like you said, where there some days I've gone out to the garage and felt a little defeated, and because my skill set is not to where I wish it was, and have to do something over and over again. Not giving up, continuing on. I just remind myself, hey man, you got people that think you can do this, and you got to believe in yourself too.
And again, other than one day of me being out there and one day of Art helping you,
yeah,
and he really didn't even
solo, baby.
He was just a second set of eyes that day. He was letting you
tried
do
really
it.
hard not to interrupt. Yeah.
And otherwise, you've done all of this yourself.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly proud of you. You've been great through this whole thing. You've been super dedicated, and it's been fun to watch you grow and gain some confidence. So I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
But yeah, guys, head over to the website. Hank Dutton, our web designer, still doing great things over there for us. I know we haven't had a whole lot of content lately, but we definitely have some merch up on the site. I will tell you, if you are ordering now, we're going to be gone. So you're not going to see your stuff for probably a good 10 days or so.
Yeah, but please don't stop from ordering.
Yes, please order. Please order.
Be great.
Just know it's going to take a little bit.
Fill some orders. It'd be fantastic. And again, we sure appreciate all the support, all that you guys have done. Please, if you enjoyed this part of Sketchy Live, which is the Sketchy Live podcast, please comment and let us know that it's worthwhile. You find some value in this, as well as watching me draw and do art and ItyB, comment and keep it all together. This part was fun because we got to talk and share ideas and stuff. And we'd love the interaction with you guys and saying who's here, and it's very important to us. It's why we spend the beginning of the time,
first 10 minutes
saying who's
least.
Here and where you're from, and trying to make sure hopefully we didn't miss anybody. And if we didn't read your comment,
your name.
Yeah, and
sorry.
But if we didn't hit your comment tonight, please next time continue to comment. We would definitely be reading comments and things, and we just appreciate so much your continued support and continue showing up every week, every Monday. It just makes it more fun and great. And great topic tonight, babe. Great job. You did so good. I love what you do and what you bring to the table, and I'm so grateful to do this with you. So hey, thanks for hanging out with us. JohnnyandItyB.com. Please head over there. Merch, check it out. Hats, stickers, all kinds of good stuff.
And we'll do our freeze frame.
Oh, we got to do it.
All right,
guys. We'll see you again. Probably not next Monday, or maybe live. We'll do a quick live.
We might do a live while we're gone. We're not going to do Sketchy next Monday. We won't be back.
It'll probably be, and if we do a live, it'll be like probably in the hotel room or something like that. So it may not be perfect like this. Like we ever get it perfect, but it'll be something fun, and we sure appreciate and hope to see you then. So we'll see you next Monday.
Until
and
then,
as always, stay sketchy. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.